Hi, welcome to Restore. Today we're going to unwind and really tap into, again, our own power to create reality as we move through our practice and take every single moment as it is, and realize that every single moment after has infinite potential. We can really create magic on our mats. So let's unwind together. Let's restore our bodies, our minds, and our soul. We're going to start seated. So you can make your way to your mat, and I'll make my way to mine. Make sure you have any props that you might need nearby. So, as always, you can have formal yoga props, blocks and straps and cushions and bolsters and blankets, or you can have makeshift ones. So things you can use are couch cushions, pillows, folded blankets, folded towels, tea towels, or belts, or ties, any of the above. Yeah, and so I'll meet you over there. So we start in a nice tall seated position. It always helps to have the hips elevated above the knees, as this more comfortably puts the pelvis in a neutral position where we're not tipping forward and compressing the low back, and we're not falling back and caving in through the front body. Once you get to that position, find a comfortable place to keep your hands. Shoulders come to the back body, and that imaginary string at the top of our head is drawing us up, up, up. You can soften your eyes or close them completely. Start to settle into your body. By focusing on tangible moments. So the feel of the air, the movement of your breath, the light around you that you can sense from behind your eyelids. We start to come into the now. How much of our reality is predicted by us from past experience? Because it happened this way, it will probably happen this way, or by future anxiety. What might happen if we get to decide through what we need, what we want, what we believe in the moment? If we get to decide what's going to happen next, feel the breath. Feel the body in your space. Feel your presence here on your mat in your room. Sense the expanse inside you. You're filled with an enormous sky. With infinite possibilities. As we move through today's practice, we continue to check in with the body sensations, staying within a pain-free range of motion. Listening to your body. Walking that line between pushing your comfort zone, not stepping over the line of pain and strain. Support your body and watch everything conspire to support you. Slowly flutter your eyes open and keep them soft. And we're going to 3 times inhale the arms up overhead and exhale down through the center. 2 more. Pause at the heart center. Rest your thumb on the center, on the sternum there. And feel that breath as it presses into your thumbs. As the chest expands. Let's go. And now with those hands, bring them away from the chest a little. And we're just going to roll out the wrists, remaining in contact with the hands. One more time in this direction, and then other direction. We'd like to create space so that once we come off our mat, we really can sense all that possibility within us. Now let's interlace the fingers and start to make some waves with our arms. Nice. If the coordination isn't there, just go with the flow. No one's watching. And then see if we can change directions. This may be the more difficult one. Depends which arm is leading the movement. Nice. And come back to center. Reach those arms out wide. Palms up. And exhale, give yourself a big hug, right arm over left. Inhale, reach. And exhale, left arm over right, hug. Do that 2 more times on each side. Open up and hug. Open up one more time. Bend the elbows. Beautiful. And this time, inhale, we open the chest. Exhale, we draw the elbows in towards each other. Let's do that 5 more times. Beautiful. Focus on both extremes of the movement and everything in between. Come back to center. Nice. Let's hold the arms in those cactuses, cacti, and breathe some space into your heart center. Feel the shoulder blades on the back supporting the heart from behind. And then hands come all the way down. Turn the head to the right and bring that chin down towards the right shoulder. Keep the left fingertips pressing into the earth. Come all the way up, turn to the left, look down at the left shoulder. Keep pressing those right fingertips into the earth. Back up to center, and now right ear to the right shoulder. And now trace the chin down along those collarbones, pausing in the center, chin to chest. Keep the shoulders back, keep that spine long. Come up to neutral, and then left ear to the left shoulder. And then trace the chin down along the collarbone. And again, hold in the middle. If you'd like to add a little bit, you can take the forearms or the elbows behind you. Beautiful. Come all the way to center. Take the hands in front of you and walk yourself forward over your legs. Plant those hands down wherever you feel comfortable, where you don't feel like you're going to fall down on your face. So plant those hands. Keep the arms straight to begin with, and just let the head and neck drop. Let the chest fall. Walk the hands over to the right. See if you can even place the left hand on top of the right hand. Keep the hips even. That left hip is still anchored towards the earth. When we breathe into the rib cage, into the left side body. And then walk all the way over to the right. Left. And then maybe the right hand crosses over on top of that left. breathe into that right side. Feel the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Getting a nice stretch, especially on that inhalation. And then back to center. Come all the way up. We're going to reach the right leg out. You may or may not need to come off of your cushion. So it's out on a diagonal angle here. Now you could always have a cushion to catch you. You could be using a belt in this position. But we're going to come down diagonally along that right leg with the right arm, right elbow bent. And then once you get there, you can plant that left hand on the left hip. You could take the hand behind the back of the head. Or you could even reach up and over. A supported version of this pose might look like this, where the cushion comes into your side body and you can lean on that cushion. Two more breaths here. And then sweep that left arm along towards the left. Reach the right leg out beside you and just take a nice long stretch. Lengthening out that right side of the body. And come all the way back. Switch legs. Left leg comes out, right heel comes in. Using a cushion or a belt. Or just your elbow. You come down over that left leg diagonally. Relax the shoulders on the back. Right hand comes to the hip or behind the back of the head or reaches up and over. The focus here is really on the breath and its ability to create space. To expand the ribs. To bring oxygen and a little bit of release to some of those tight areas. Start reprogramming the way we hold our body. If we choose it, we can make it happen. Sweep that arm around, come on to the right elbow, to the right hip. And just take that left leg out along the mat. Give yourself a nice stretch. And all the way up. And now we're going to take both legs out to the side. If you feel like you're rolling off the sit bones and caving in here, again, a folded blanket or 2 or 3 underneath those sit bones works. A cushion here to kind of wedge right behind you to encourage you to sit right on those sit bones is helpful as well. And if they are too far apart, you may feel like you're gripping to keep them there. Bring them to a place that you can settle those thighs down and even take your hands towards those hip flexors and encourage them to soften a little bit. Yes, they'll be working slightly to keep us upright here, but see if you can tap in more to the core to keep us upright and soften the hip flexors and the thighs down as much as possible. You may stay right here in a firefly, or you might start to draw yourself forward, coming down onto a cushion. You could even prop it up, hugging it, letting the head down. You can stack things underneath to change the angle of that cushion, etc. Find your way there. Relax the head down and breathe. Again, watching that breath. Continue to come back to the movement of the breath, the effect on the body as you expand and return. The grounding of the thighs and the legs, and the space that's being created, the inner thighs and the hips and the back. Two more deep breaths here. And then we slowly make our way back up. Move that out of the way. And maybe a shave or some windshield wipers. We're going to be coming into a supported thunderbolt pose. So Thunderbolt technically is sitting on the heels like this, but for a lot of us that might be hard on the hips or the knees. And so there's a few things you could do. One thing would be to roll up a blanket or a towel, get it right in behind that knee joint, and then come and sit down back on it. You could also take your blocks or books and make a seat behind you with those at any level, or even a cushion to sit back on. So whatever you choose, let's get set up in our Thunderbolt. And so here we do have to access that core strength to keep the spine tall. But again, it's not about just the abs or just the back. We want that 360-degree support for the spine. In this position, it is easier to have the pelvis in a neutral position. And so from that place, it is much easier to connect to that tall spine. Hands come to the thighs, shoulders back and down. And we breathe. With every inhalation, imagine getting taller. Imagine that strength around the spine, allowing less strain, less compression on the discs between the vertebrae. We keep breathing here, meditating on that inner core, not about sucking in or pulling or pushing, but about really deeply tapping in to what's always available to us. Two more breaths here. And then you're going to shift forward, take any props away from behind you, and come up onto the knees. For a modified side plank, we reach the right leg out beside us and take that left hand through the earth under our shoulder. Notice that we might start to curl down towards the earth. Work on pressing up and away, opening that front body. Now, if the floor does feel too far away, again, any kind of way to bring that floor closer works. Blocks, books, toilet paper rolls. Now pressing into the outer edge, well, really all four corners of that right foot. We can reach that left arm up. Here, expand the chest. Every inhalation is a reach out, an expansion. Every exhalation, we connect again to our core. And perhaps we bring that arm over our ear for even more stretch through that right side body. And then come all the way up and switch sides. So again, bringing the right hand down underneath the right shoulder, reaching the left leg out to the side. All four corners of that left foot are planted, toes pointed in the same direction as the heart. Right hand comes down. You can keep that left hand on the hip, or you can reach it up and focus on opening that heart. Keep the ribs drawn in, flat. Beautiful. Every inhalation, we press out through our limbs. Every exhalation we feel, we connect to that strength inside. Maybe reach the arm over your ear. Really stretching out through that left side. And then all the way back up. Replace the knees. Maybe take a moment in Thunderbolt to integrate the energies. So we're going to be coming into heart opening on the back now. You have a few options. You can take couch cushions or bolsters, bring them right into your sacrum, lowering yourself down on there, perhaps putting something behind the head if you need a little bit of extra added cushion, as long as we're not closing off that neck completely. If you're feeling like I am today and want a little bit of an extra opening, and you have blocks, you could also use the blocks, but to make it a little bit more comfortable. So I like to put them in a T formation. I'm also going to lay my folded blanket over top so that they're more like cushioned blocks. If we're using the blocks, then bottom edge of the bottom block comes right around the mid thoracic spine here. So right around where a woman's bra strap would be. And then the top block supports the head. Everybody can start with their knees bent. And then as you're ready, can slowly start to extend those legs out. Palms face up as those shoulders drop back. And we feel that gentle opening through the heart center, through the front body, gravity drawing the shoulders back and stretching out those attachments to the pectoral muscles, to the biceps. And keep coming back to the breath. Every inhalation creating space. Every exhalation dropping deeper, inwards, downwards. As the mind wanders, get curious. First, acknowledge where it's wandering to the past, to the future. And gently coax it back to what's happening right here, right now. What if this is everything we've always wanted? This moment right now is fulfilling your every need. after two more breaths, you can either stay here or move on for a little bit more active shoulder and chest opening. So, first, almost like snow angels, we start to bring the arms up overhead along the sides, and then back down. Maybe you pause in the juicy spots. Do one more of those. And now bring the fingertips up towards the sky. Let the shoulders drop back. Let those arms hang there suspended. And then slowly draw the thumbs overhead. You can hang out there. You can repeat the movement. And again, watch the breath. And slowly come back up. And give yourself a hug, left arm under the right, touching the backs of the opposite shoulders if you can. Keep the elbows pointed up to the sky. Reach up again and cross the other way, right arm under left. And then back up again. Relax the hands down again. Bend the knees. And this time, keeping the feet together, let the knees fall out to the sides into a supine Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. If you need support under the knees or the thighs, to feed back to the body, to let it know that it's safe to open here, you can always put blocks or folded towels, blankets, pillows, cushions under those thighs to catch them as they fall. And then slowly help those knees back up towards each other and gently roll off of whatever props you've used and take them out from underneath. And come back down onto your back. Take the knees and the hands, and with the arms extended, rock side to side on the sacrum, on the back of the pelvis there. And then perhaps you can do some circles on the ceiling. And switch directions. Now bringing the feet down towards the earth. You could also bring them down onto a cushion or a pillow or blocks as we're going to come into a number 4 pose. Now, elevating them will intensify the stretch, just as if we were bringing that leg in. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, left knee opens to the left. And we can actually just stay here, either gently pressing that left knee away. If you do need to go farther, you could bring that right leg up towards you. You could also use a wall, that right foot press onto the wall, or again, just an elevated cushion or something off the floor. Or maybe you don't need any of those modifications at all. Breathe space into both sides of the body, both sides of the abdomen, letting there be just as much space on the left side as there is on the right side. And then slowly release that side. Take the right ankle, cross it over the left thigh, open that right knee, coax that right knee open. And again, you could stay here, foot on the ground, foot on a cushion. You can draw that left leg towards you, bring the left foot to the wall. And just like the other side, breathing equal space on both sides of the body. Keeping the sacrum grounded and even on the earth. Slowly release that side. Can move the prop out of the way and come to some windshield wipers back and forth. Nice. So we're going to come to legs up the wall pose. So if you have a wall nearby, you can go get set up. If you don't have a wall, you could use a couch or a bed and just drape the legs over the edge, having that lower leg supported so that the thighs feel perpendicular to the floor. Otherwise, if you have a wall, you can just scooch your hips up next to the wall and swing those legs up. Or if you have a bolster, you can get onto the bolster and do the same thing. You're going to get really nice and close to the wall in whichever way you go up. And then it's kind of a game of trust in flipping them up the wall and bringing your body down towards the earth. And then you want to adjust so that you can feel those sit bones grazing the wall, legs straight up. Feet can fall however they want to fall. And then arms come to a comfortable position. Viparita Karani. Once you get into your legs up the wall pose, feel the gravity draw those legs down into the hip socket. Feel gravity ground the pelvis. Make the hips heavy. Soften those hip flexors. They don't need to be working here. So even getting the thumbs in there and poking around a little just to remind those hip flexors that they do not need to be working right now. And come to your breath. In that spaciousness of the breath, we find the vast expanse of our inner world. Every inhalation, fill it with hope. Fill it with joy. Fill it with that knowing that everything is as it should be right here, right now. Everything that was. And everything that is infinite. Everything that will be can be very much up to you. Your experience of your life, your world, your pose, the world around you, your experience of it is up to you. We have choice. Now you can stay here for your final relaxation, or you can move into formal shavasana, maybe with a bolster under the knees, maybe with a blanket, an eye pillow. Slowly start to transition into a place of complete and total ease, where the breath breathes you, where we can watch the thoughts come and go as clouds. The feelings blow by as the weather, as we sit in the seat of our soul, being the observer. Resisting the urge to grasp on, to hang on to any pervasive thought or feeling or belief. In this space, anything is possible. You are your reality. Please feel free to stay here for as long as you possibly can. And when you get back to living your life, this is not the end of your yoga practice, this is the beginning. Remember your choice. Remember all your potential and all the possibilities. Thank you so much for joining me. Lots of love, lots of light.